Today we're going to be talking about some spooky things, including the Amityville Horror House, as well as The Conjuring and things like that. If that type of thing bothers you, not a problem, pop off. I will see you guys on the next one. Otherwise, sit back, relax, grab yourself some tea, because we are going to deep dive into the Warrens. Hi crystal balls, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. Welcome to all of you and my Patreons. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. If you could take a moment out of your day to just hit that subscribe button and that like button. This is a free way for you guys to support me. Free, 100% free, and that means you know when I upload and when I go live and any other cool thing that I do, you guys get to know that first. So please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying very hard to get to 1,000 subscribers. I don't have that yet, but I'm working so hard towards it. So please, with all my fingers crossed, please. Please do that. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren. So I'm kind of following up a little bit with my last reading about Annabelle because I did discuss the Warrens. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do a video about them because they are such a mysterious couple, but also I don't like Ed Warren. I never have. I do appreciate the things that his nephew John does. I do appreciate Lorraine, but there's something about Ed Warren that I have never liked. So we're going to do a reading. I'm going to put the time in the description box of when the actual reading starts. We're going to do a little bit of background first, and then we're going to go for it. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were married, I believe, over 40 years. When Ed passed away, he did die first. Both of them were Roman Catholic and got married in a Roman Catholic wedding. They had one child, I believe her name was Judy, and they were very close to their nieces and nephews. Now, Ed and Lorraine were known as some of the biggest paranormal investigators out there. In fact, some people do accredit them with the term paranormal investigator, but I don't know. This is Rosie, I haven't been able to confirm or deny that. So there is a possibility that paranormal investigator, it comes from a different person or a different field. But yes, we want to say hi. 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 Anyway, sorry, I had a moment there. So they have done some pretty huge investigations. As I said before, and as I've done before, the Annabelle whole investigation. They do have the occult museum that Zach Bragas, this guy here, owns now, which, if you want me to do a reading about him, please put your comments down in the description box, because he's an odd fellow. He really is. Anyway, I also did The Conjuring house, which apparently had something to do with Annabelle, and it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know the whole story about The Conjuring. If I'm right, it has to do with a house that had the morticianary. They had the morticians stuff in the basement of this particular house that the son was living in, and the son was having difficulty with spirits and things like that. Amityville Horror. Now, because of safety reasons, I'm not going to go deeply into the Amity Horror story. But Lorraine and Ed were the investigators of this whole thing, and they claimed that this place is haunted. I claim something different. I don't believe that this whole thing is haunted, and I know some people are going to freak out about that, but I believe this is something that they have manifested into reality. Like I was talking about Annabelle in the last video, I think it's been manifested into reality, just like Annabelle. I'm seeing a pattern here. So again, I think that Lorraine is legit, I don't feel like Ed Warren is at all. I think he is a snake oil salesman. He's also been accused of having an affair for 40 years. So we're going to take a look at the Warrens and keep in mind that their information has been criticized for years and years and years. I think that Lorraine was a very gifted psychic. And I think that Ed used Lorraine and used her innocence and used her goodness in a way that was helpful for his career and for himself and helped get them money. Originally, that Lorraine was an artist and very, very talented person. But let's get into some deeds here. So, my first question. The Warrens, as a couple, were they a legitimate paranormal investigation team that truly believed in the paranormal? I believe they were truly a legit paranormal investigation team, but did they believe in the paranormal? Before I get started, and I'll show you the same card, this is the Dark Fairy Tale deck. Let me know if you guys want me to put the decks down in the description box, because I'm a person who's always interested in the decks and where I can get them. So this is Dark Fairy Tale Tarot. So the first card I got was the Eight of... What is this? The Eight of Wands. I really, really believe that this is speaking on the astral level, and Lorraine was the only one that could do it. Ed couldn't. Ed couldn't see or hear anything around him, but Lorraine could. Lorraine could see direct manifestations of people. She had no filter, meaning she unfortunately saw things as they were. When I say that, I mean if somebody was broken and bloodied in life, and that's how they died, a very, very violent way, this is how she would see them. She would see them according to what they looked like at their death. So if they looked to be, 80 years old and died of old age, they were going to look like that. If they died with an axe through their head, that's how they died like that. That's how they appeared. If they died with an axe through the head, that's how they would appear to Lorraine. There was some dark magic around the Warrens. Now, I believe that this is Ed Warren, who was into dark magic. He played with the paranormal. He thought it was a joke when he was a child. So Ed was somebody that was interested in paranormal investigation and the paranormal since he was a child. I do want to say that he was probably to the point of obsession, and there was something with theology and Catholicism that had to do with his obsession, because the two of them don't necessarily mesh with the religion, but here we are, a religion, the Catholic religion, and this is just a very general statement, I'm not Catholic, but a religion that supports demonology and knows names of angels and demons and has exorcisms and things like that are considered to be real, but ghostly activity and things like that are not considered to be real. So here you have this religion, and here you have Ed in the middle of the religion and the belief system, trying to figure out exactly what he believed. But I believe that he liked dark magic. Now, this is Ed and Lorraine. This is the Lover's card. And I completely believe that they loved each other. I believe that Lorraine's love of her life was Ed. Do I believe Ed's love of his life was Lorraine? No, I don't. But he didn't respect her, guys. Like, Lorraine had a real gift here. Lorraine was the reason why they got as far as they did. the reason why the occult museum exists, the reason why they were able to go do all these investigations. He may have been the brains behind the operation, but she was the operation. She was everything. If you took away Lorraine, you would never have known a damn thing about Ed Warren, ever. But I do think that he was having an affair. I know that was supposedly, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, but I believe that he was having an affair. And yeah, I kind of agree with this particular card here. It cut deep. This is like I don't know if it is. Nope, this is the one of swords, or wands. Swords. I'm having a day with my memory, so ignore me. But yeah, I believe this cut really, really deeply with Lorraine. She knew about her. She absolutely knew about her, but Ed came home to her. So, there's that. It wasn't world-changing with this affair, just to let you know, because Lorraine not only knew, but this is something that he had several affairs, and this is something that happened before they got married, after they got married, so personal life wasn't necessarily in the best condition, but as far as if they were truly paranormal investigators, Lorraine was, Ed pretended. Ed he wasn't very smart. Like, I think if he was smart, he would have done a whole lot more, and I think he would have believed in some of the bullshit that he spouted. This is what I was looking for, the three of swords here. This is a heartbreak. This is a heartbreak, but it's also playing the world's tiniest violin to you. So it's basically like, I feel like Lorraine told Ed that, I still own you, in a way, as nice as she could possibly say, because she was a lady. I still own you. I am married to you. You come home to me. Anyway, Amityville Horror House is one of the biggest houses that they've ever done. Let me ask here, was the Amityville Horror House true? I don't get a very good feeling about this. I do believe this was dark magic that the father and the family started. Now, again, I'm not super familiar with the Amityville horror story. Amityville horror story. I'm not that familiar with it. But what I do know about it is there was a family who claimed some very sadistic, if they didn't claim it was sadistic, it was paranormal activity. And this house has been called one of the most haunted houses in the world. It's not. It's not haunted. It's manifestation. So the family fed into this. I believe that the dad started the whole situation with the dark magic, but he created this. And at first, he created this to be famous. He created this to get attention. He was hurting badly for money. So he put this out there, this story out there, and it gained attention, and it got a book, and it got movie after movie, and story after story, and newspaper after newspaper article. So he got exactly what he wanted, which was attention and money from it. But he started it. This almost makes me feel like a lunatic, like the lunatic down the hall. The wording I keep getting is he went crazy. Now, I know that's not the nicest term in the world, but I don't know what else to say because that's the exact terming I'm hearing. So he went crazy. He went crazy in his head because he didn't know the difference between reality and what he created anymore. So when I say dark magic, there's real magic is both light and dark. It has both positive and negative because that's what nature is. Nature has life, nature has death, nature has good, nature has bad. This was something completely different than typical witchcraft and typical things. Like, this is what I call the bastardization of witchcraft and bastardization of dark magic. So somebody really got a hold of dark magic, and I think it was the dad, and the repercussions of that, you have to pay for it somehow, was his mind. I also feel like he was having an affair too. I don't know why this is something that keeps coming up, or if this is something that is significant anyway to the story about them, but he was having an affair, and this woman drank blood, just to let you know that. There's my confirmation card for that. She was very much into drinking blood. They made a mess of this whole situation. This was like, I'm telling you, this is like a child who was at a live wire, socket, and like poking a fork through it to feel the zap, but then putting the fork in there too long and being like, and getting the shock, but starting to have repercussions from the shock. That's what happened with this whole thing. It was like on a house of cards where it was stacked, and everything was in its place to show the world that this is a very haunted, very spooky house. And they used the Warrens, but the Warrens, Ed, also used this situation. He never, ever, ever should have brought Lorraine into this household blind. And I don't know if he did or not, but he never should have if he did. But this house, everything that's entities and things in that house, it was curated by this guy and his girlfriend, and perpetuated by the wife, and the children were completely scared of it. This is the death card. So it also looks like the Headless Horseman. Ooh, it's Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized. I'm not monetized anyway. Click that subscribe button. So this whole thing brought upon a new life for the Warrens. So instead of going around and doing legitimate business, they went around and they did things that were way beneath what Lorraine's capabilities were. Lorraine operated on a higher level, and then operating on a low level like this really messed with her. And I really think she came to believe that she was not good enough to be at the level that she used to be, which is super, super high, super psychic, super good person, super could say no to doing these stupid things like going around showboating. Because that's what it was. The Conjuring house was showboating. The Amityville horror house was showboating. Annabelle was showboating. Everything else that they've done, part of the career was completely showboating. And unfortunately, she got wrapped up in it. And she became something that she wasn't until after Ed died. And when Ed died, she was able to reclaim a lot of that psychicness, a lot of that goodness, she was able to shed the skin of what she was prior to when she married him. Again, she loved him. She honestly loved him, but she also kept a tight grip on him because he did cheat. And she was very much like, you are coming home to me. Okay, you coming home to me. I don't care what you do in your daytime. Just know that I'm also psychic, and I know what the hell you're doing, so I can throw that all in your face whenever I want. So, yeah. So, I'm kind of going on a little bit here, but I really have a poor feeling about the Warrens as a couple and as people who are paranormal investigators. The problem is, if they didn't do the stuff that they did, this wouldn't be an open thing now. As far as having places like Ghost Hunters, yay, or Ghost Adventures, boo, or anything on the Travel Channel, basically, or paranormal psychology, which is something that I want to study. There is some legitimate stories out there, but when it comes to the stories that surround the Warrens, I want you all to take it with a grain of salt, because A, they were with people who messed with some pretty bad things, and B, Ed knew how to manipulate stories. He was a snake oil salesman. So please know that, yes, I completely believe in ghosts. I believe in, spirits and things like that, but I also am critical, and I'm also someone who always looks for the reality of a situation. Example, Annabelle. Where is this whole truth articles about all of the things that happened? Where are these couples that supposedly died after they had an interaction? Where are their stories? Because I don't think they were going to get so scared to stay away. They probably would say something in order to keep somebody else from harming. The Conjuring House. Well, there was real stuff going on there. I think Ed prolonged it with Amityville Horror House, because the house was already damned from the stupidity of the father and the father's girlfriend. He was able to come in and just throw some sugar on it and make it seem like it was authentic. It was not an authentic haunting. This is something that was manifested by dark magic. That was a bastardization of what real magic is. So I'm going to close with reminding you all that it's fine to believe in whatever you want to believe, but be critical of it. Take a look and try to find where you can poke holes in it. If you can poke holes in it, try to find where there's support. Example, finding a newspaper report to support why there's a hole. Well, of course that didn't happen that day because that person was working. Of course that happened that day because here it is. Here it is in black and white. It happened. But then you go question the news too, and whatevs. But be critical, be skeptical. Don't just believe every snake oil person that you hear who is selling you a story, because not all of them have your right intentions or your right, your goodness in mind. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. And remember, every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.